No, I think it's now in the postmodern period, bliss and desire are equivalents. So following your bliss means do what you desire, right? So that's the problem. And there is no sacrifice of desire. All the ego is a mass of desires. And the fears are mostly that it won't get what it desires, right? So the desire is the problem. And yes, their version of the journey did not go through letting go of your desire because they took the understanding of follow your bliss in an incorrect way. Now, did Campbell have a total understanding of it? No, I don't think so. But he had a much more mature understanding that he knew there would have to be a separation from the kind of desire that kept you in a herd mentality. And you had to desire to individuate. You had to desire to find out who you are as a separate individual without the social context. You'd have to go on a vision quest where you separated from everyone long enough to be with your loneliness and to let all of the egoic thought patterns drop away and receive a vision and receive an inspiration. And so in the more sattvic versions of the story, you would become a shaman. You'd become someone who had access to these higher levels of consciousness in which you could come back and serve the society, but from a place in which you were no longer of it. You saw through its illusions, but you had compassion. You were a bodhisattva, and you were able to be a healer. That level of a sattvic sacrifice of the lower desires to get let's say a higher level of soul desire, at least, to function in society with a different kind of mode of being, that has fallen away. And so now the understanding of desire is simply that that's what we are. We're made of desire. And there isn't a realization that the real self is beyond desire. And all of the psychoanalytic theories that I've ever read, they're based on the idea that you are, that desire with a capital D is what you are, and you don't get beyond desire. All you can do is try to traverse the fantasies of infantile desires to find a desire that is mature and that enables you, after going through the symbolic castration of the infantile desires, to reach a desire that can bring fulfillment at an adult level, but not a mystical transcendence of the ego, just that your ego can find a way to deal with the lack of gratification in the world that you will ultimately have to face. That everything you did to support being a well-adapted ego was futile. It didn't bring you happiness. That's basically what psychoanalysis tries to do, to reconcile you to the fact that there is no happiness and your desire is never going to be satisfied, il n'y a pas, and deal with it, right? But it's not a transcendence of the egoic identity in which that desire is formulated. But what it gives you is a new algorithm in which you are able to critique your own desire, to realize its unreality, its unfulfillability, and to turn it into a desire to understand, what Lacan called the analyst discourse. I know that I don't know and I can't fulfill myself and I can't do this, but at least I can understand everyone is going through this kind of thing, and I can be free of the addictive processes that they're in because I know that it's a dead end, and I can accept my unfulfillment and I can stand it. It's a very Stoic philosophy, but it doesn't reach grace or transcendence. So it's not a hero's journey. It's not a complete path, and there is none in the modern world.
psychoanalysis will take you to the sublimation channels of 3.5?
Yeah, it'll do that, and it'll take you even I think it'll take you to 4.5, but not to chakra 4. But it'll take you to an ability to see that you've been in Maya. It won't awaken your buddhi to see that there's more beyond Maya, but it will take you to that point where there's a sense that I can deal with the fact that it's all illusion. But there's no real beyond the illusion.
Okay. So where would the hero's journey start on the chakra map? Or is making a concerted effort to go up the chakra map the hero's journey? Well,
it is the disillusionment point that it starts at, in those sublimation channels. Yes, it is that. And then one has to discern that the ego is a fabrication, a falsehood, and that none of its desires are good for you, and that none of them lead to transcendence. They all cause stagnation and fossilization of your consciousness in a fixed holding pattern, and you break that. You have to break it. That's the first step, and then you extract yourself. But where you extract yourself and where do you go to is it has to be into chakra 4. There has to be a love for that which transcends the ego, even though you don't know that. If you don't go into chakra 4 and open your heart to love, you see, that's where what Campbell was talking about in Following the Bliss. It's opening your heart. It's first not bliss you're going to feel when you open your heart. You're going to feel heartbreak, actually. And you're going to feel all the pain of the horror of the ego's unlovingness and its fragility and its stupidity and its fragmentation and all of that. But you'll begin to love what is real in you and what is real in the world and the magic and the miraculousness of it all. And you'll be able to handle the falling away of the ego. And you'll want wisdom. This is where the epistomophilic drive will come in, which is the upper death drive. You'll want to know, what is it really all about? Why are we here? What is this? You see? And you'll want to resolve that. And that's when you'll begin to meditate deeply and receive downloads. And that'll move you into chakra 5. And then the energies that were in chakra 3 to try to control others and have territory and all of that, it will go. That's when that spiral works. All of that energy will go toward wanting to become master over the ego consciousness, which you'll attain at least the beginnings of, the symbolic understanding of how to do that in chakra 5. And then you want to do it for real. And what you have to do then is to take that final sanskara of the desire of romantic love, of sexual relationship, and sublimate that into the mastery of bodiless, formless consciousness at chakra 6. And be willing to stay in that emptiness in which you don't have an other of twin flame. You don't have any support from the world. You are totally in the loneliness and the solitude, but you've converted it into the aloneness and the onlyness of God consciousness. And there you begin the process of the fission becoming fusion. And that will take you down to the chakra 1, total, the desire not to exist, to stay in the womb, to never become whole and responsible and deal with life. You will take that and raise that to the next octave of transcending reality, of containing the world, the universe itself as the womb, and you are the mother of it and the father, both in union. And then you get to chakra 7 and liberation. But Shiva and Shakti have to finally unite in chakra 7. That's the final wedding that we have to go through, the real wedding, not the marriages here that are rehearsals for the real thing. That's the consummation of union with God. And it's only when those two aspects of the God self, the father and the mother, come together in unity, that all desire is finally quelled, because this was what was behind all of the other desires that the ego and the soul both were longing for. And finally there is the fulfillment in that moment of total non-existence of any separation from the Absolute.